I'm talking about is it's MySpace's default. It's not a glitch. It's not anything like that. It's MySpace's default. As you can see, there's a box around Tom's MySpace URL. There's a box around the contact table, box around the network banner or network whatever. There's boxes everywhere around Tom's interests, general music. Well, there's just random boxes everywhere. Now, if you make your own custom MySpace layout, there's going to be these random boxes too. But what Tom did, as I see, most of the boxes, what he did is make it blend with the background. Now, his background in the center is white. So all the boxes are blended with that white background, so there's not as many boxes. Now, if your boxes aren't blended with your background, you're going to see a lot of ugly black boxes. The reason I'm saying black is because the color, the RGB color, if you're using my code, is already going to be set to 000, which is the red, green, blue color, the RGB color for black. So you're going to see a bunch of ugly black boxes everywhere. Now, you want to change that so it matches your background, or else your MySpace layout isn't really going to look that good. So let's say your background is white. You want to change those two main RGB things to 255, 255, 255. So the first RGB thing right here, I changed that to 255, 255, 255. And there's another one to change, 225, 225, 225. So change that too. Make sure you want it to blend in with your background, or else you're going to get a bunch of ugly looking boxes everywhere. Alright, so there's that. Now, if you scroll down from those two RGB things, if you scroll a little more down, you're going to see, let's say, 5 more RGB things. So the next 5 RGB things that you see, I'm calling them RGB things. That's because I really don't know the name for them, but I'm just going to be calling them RGB things. So if you scroll down from those 2 RGB things, you're going to be seeing 5 more. Now the next 5 RGB things that you see after those 2, those all have to do with the font. Now this is all these next 5 RGB things and everything around that has to do with the font. So let's say you want to change your font color to let's say white because you have a black background. So you want to change the font color to white so it shows behind your black background. Now you want to change the RGB color to 255, 255, 255. Now you want to repeat that for all the remaining RGB things. And don't do it for every single RGB thing you see in this code, because different RGB things in different areas stand for different things. Now the next 5 after those 2 RGB things for the tables all have to do with the font. And also, so by the way, if you want to change the font color, you want to change all of the RGB things to that same number. And then also, if you look around that, you're going to be seeing some stuff that says font family, font size, font weight, font style, font text decoration, and all that different stuff. So you want to change that if you want a different font size, a different font family. By the way, that's the font type. For example, Arial, Veranda. That's what the font family is. Or font weight, which is bold, normal, italic, and stuff like that. You want to change that. And by the way, the reason that you're seeing basically the same thing like 5 times is because different, let's call these paragraphs, different paragraphs stand for different sections of text. So one paragraph could stand for the main text, another paragraph could stand for text that has link to it, another paragraph could stand for a different type of text. They just all stand for different types of text in different sections of your MySpace layout. So after you're done with those 5 paragraphs of text, let's say CSS code, after you're done with that, if you scroll down a little more, you're gonna see the direct link for the for your name image. Now, if you look right below that name image, if you look right below that, you're gonna see the height of the name image. Now, again, followed my tutorial, the height is already gonna be set at 200 pixels because if you follow my tutorial, I told you guys to set your height at 200 pixels, and I also set the height for you guys at 200 pixels in the CSS code. Now, if you didn't follow my tutorial, you want to change the height to whatever the height of your name image is, so it fits all good in your MySpace layout. So change that height. Scroll down. The next thing you should see is the network banner. If you look to the right of the network banner, you're going to see the width and the height. And again, they're already set to what they need to be set to if you follow my tutorial. But if not, you want to change those so it goes with yours. And then scroll a little more down. You're going to see the contact table, the direct link for the contact table. And then again, the width and the height right above that are going to say 300 and 150. And then you could change that to fit yours if you didn't follow my tutorial. Scroll down a little bit more. And then the last thing you're going to see is the banner. And then, well, yeah, you could change the width and the height of the banner too. Same thing as the previous ones I've been talking about. If you look at the URL of the banner, look above that, you're going to see something that says width and another thing that says height. There should already be set as 720 and 200. Change it if your banner is bigger or smaller or whatever. You want to change that. And then, which leads me to my last thing. This is basically how to move your banner. This is the last thing I'm going to be talking about in this tutorial, and is a really commonly asked question, because as default I set it so your network or your MySpace banner is set to the bottom of your MySpace. Now, if you don't like that, which most people didn't, unfortunately, I do, but I guess most people didn't. Most people wanted it at the top of their MySpace, which is how a lot of people have it. Now, there's two ways to change it to the top of your MySpace. Now, one way is to, there's another tutorial I made for this. The link to that tutorial will be in the video description, along with all the other links. And if you follow that tutorial, it's going to give you an easier way to set your MySpace banner to the top of your MySpace. But if you just want to do it with this coding, you could just basically just do this. Now, after you have set your width and the height to the correct width and the height of your banner image, you're gonna see three other things: the margin left, the top, and the left. Now, what the left does is 20% is pretty good. You don't really need to mess with the left. But the top, what it does is where the top of your banner is gonna be. So if you set the top to 0, it's gonna put it all the way to the top of your MySpace. And then the margin left value is set at 0 pixels, I believe. But if you change the margin left value, it makes your banner move right or left. If you put it to a negative number, I believe it moves right. And if it's a positive number, I believe it moves left. But again, I could be mistaken. It could be vice versa, but yeah. So you want to just mess with the margin left values and the top value, and that could move your MySpace banner to wherever you want it. And so that's basically it. Sorry if I talk a little fast. I'm trying to make this not go into 2 parts, or if it is already in 2 parts, I'm making it not to go into 3. And well, yeah, so keep in mind you could always watch it again or pause every part that you need to so you could catch up with me. And well, that's basically it. Hope you guys now understand how to completely code your MySpace layout, and I hope that ultimately you guys could get your own custom MySpace layout up on your MySpace. And well, yeah, that's pretty much it. Until the next tutorial, I'll see you guys later.